Good evening from New York. The daylight dreams of inner mind communication, your remembered dreams from sleep, spiritual healing, waking and sleeping. The, the three role play practices and the three meditation practices of inner mind communication all occur in a wakeful dream, in your imagination. Of course, your mind, your brain creates dreams of its own. As you practice inner mind communication, the wakeful dream, the daylight dream, you begin to make connections with forms of empathy, which helps the overall love flow in your thinking and in your communications. So, one example of progress in spiritual growth, which I experienced in a dream, is this. In my dream, and I used to use a BB gun to shoot insects. It was target practice, and so I was doing something like that in the dream, and one bug killed it, and another I aimed at it, and it did something intelligent. It moved over into a spot on the side of this wall where I couldn't see it. And I decided I was impressed with that. And I thought of it as a creature and not a target. And so I gave it a pass. I didn't want to kill it. Then in the dream, a white dove comes over to me, very friendly. I pat it. I'm enjoying. It lets me touch it. And pet it like a dog. And it was, seemingly very, very happy to be there. And then it showed me a young homeless boy that the dream told me says he has no parents. He's lost in the street. And it asked me, would you adopt him and help him? And I thought about it, and I was considering the difficulties, of course. And as I did so, the image of the boy changed. It wasn't quite as cute. Had a bad odor about him. His smile was missing teeth. And that gave me, this feeling of, well, that's too much. I can't can I handle that? And then compassion hit me and a lesson. Remembering the homeless people that I had ignored before, and the ones that I didn't offer even any help at all. And I saw that it was wrong. That I should have had a more compassionate view. And not to say I, would have to try to do something impossible, but to do what I could. And so I had this spiritual lesson and a kind of healing. After all, as they say, there, but by the grace of God, go I. I saw that I could identify a great deal with that homeless boy that nobody seemed to want. And that connected me to a primal therapist that I had. Said, you were a street kid. And I said, no, I had a home. Why do you say that? She said, because you had to raise yourself. So now, I realized I wasn't committing to help when I didn't do that to my limits. I was not doing it for myself. I wasn't connecting to that kid who had to raise himself. Not loving the homeless meant I wasn't loving myself either. This was a remembered dream, a dream from sleep. But once you remember the dream, especially, then you've brought it into wakefulness. There's a connection between the practices of inner mind communication, which put you in touch with different forms of empathy and in connection to feelings even before you had words. Pardon the inner city noise if you're hearing that. Yeah. So when you do this practice of inner mind communication. It's a practice of a love flow between yourself and yourself, yourself and others, and yourself that is your higher power, the imaginer of all you imagine, that lives outside of your dramatic timeline. Enjoying the whole story of your life, so it's always in heaven, but reaching down to empathize with you with objective and compassionate empathy to help you in your drama and to give meaning, greater love to your life. This communication is, well, you don't have to wait until you're having a near-death experience to connect to your inner artist. That although outside of your mind, your dramatic experience and your thoughts and so on, outside of your bodily feelings and so on, outside, still caring, your very best friend, and in a sense, a higher you. It is from that place of bliss which the yogis say, all things come from bliss and all things return to bliss. From that place where time stands still. From that place above your whole timeline, the watcher, it is the purpose of this these videos from many perspectives, hopefully many more than just my own, on how important it is to have empathy and awareness in our communications, not just in our daily life, but also in the daylight dream of our imagination, which interplays with the dreams you have at night, or whenever you're sleeping. Yeah, I've had those night shift jobs. Yeah, I know how that feels. So I just wanted to give you a sense of this, and it isn't gloom and doom. It isn't a hard thing, really. Because as soon as you step into the realm of your inner artist, there's joy, unspeakable and full of glory. And eternal in a single moment. I always remember this this song. When the trumpet of the Lord will sound, and time will be no more. Yeah, forget that karaoke version, but something that comes to me. Yes. And your inner artist calls you to be the hero of love in your story, so that your story, although great and enjoyable, in all its down times and up times, and even in its horror, calls you to make meaning out of the drama by being the hero of love in the movie, the story of your life. I love to end my videos with an encouragement. And a blessing. I love an old Irish blessing. I'll spare you the whole thing, but it begins with, "May the road rise to meet you." And so that's a blessing. And the encouragement, well, I would like to encourage you to see yourself as a part of the wonder of the universe that everybody's a part of, and everything, and you're a part of it. It's like this one big family, isn't it? Yeah. And all of its drama. There's a connection. And there's something used for goodbye and hello in India that means what Carl Sagan, the great physicist, said. We, speaking of intelligent life, are the universe knowing itself. And that greeting and that goodbye in India means that. And that greeting, good and goodbye, is namaste. There's a love that connects us all. There's a part of us that can reflect, be a watcher of our lives. Something that people in near-death experiences seem to experience, right? And sometimes in a life review. People say, well, this is evidence of life after death. I would have to say there's no scientific evidence for that. But when you step into the perspective of the artist, time itself stands still, and you are eternal in a moment. Namaste.